Many of you who know something about tractors know about this tractor behind me, Big Bud, which has had an interesting history that we'll talk about in just a few minutes. It has spent time, let's see, I'm trying to count the states. It has spent time in Montana, Florida, California, a little bit of time in Illinois, quite a bit of time over the past decade in the state of Iowa. And it is headed back to Montana. But we're in Iowa here to talk a little bit about some of its recent history and the fact that there's some new shoes on Big Bud. Now, you don't see the tires there, but Scott Sloan, come on in here. Titan Tire, you guys have equipped Big Bud with some new tires. We'll show the folks here.
Yeah, we got involved with this almost 2 years ago, and this tractor was built in 1977, so they're the original tires, and Randy and Robert were trying to get it back going again, and approached one of our dealers up in Janesville, Minnesota, and the tires were so badly rotted out. They literally just rotted out after 40 years, so they couldn't be repaired. So that's when Paul at Janesville contacted me and wondered if we'd get involved with this project.
That's quite a project, isn't it?
It was. I'd have to say it was the biggest project we've been involved with. But yes, we've got the LSW 1400 30R46, which is the largest ag tire in the world. And got to thinking, well, the largest ag tire, largest ag tractor, sounds like a perfect match. So that's when the wheels started rolling, trying to acquire the wheels and the tires. We had the wheels, and it's not like this is a special run tire. I've got asked that a lot, if this is a special run tire. It's not, but we were able to modify through Old Wheel in St. Ansgar, Iowa. Actually modified some existing wheels that we had out there. They were so big we actually had to send them down to our Quincy, Illinois plant to get painted. Brought them back up to Janesville, got them mounted up, got them shipped back down to Clarion, and I guess the rest is history.
LSW tires, low sidewall tires, right, for both tractors and combines.
Absolutely, and that's kind of our technology. We've had that out since about 2009, and it's becoming very popular, and we've got some sizes that are pretty unique where we're swapping out, say your duals on a four-wheel drive, we're going to a super single, either a 1250 or 1400, and this is a little over the top with dual 1400s, but it was a perfect fit for this tractor.
We'll take a closer look at those tires in a moment. Scott, thanks for being here with us to share the story. Let's visit with the Williams brothers because they own Big Bud in Montana. Randy Williams, you guys are going to farm with this tractor again, aren't you?
We're going to try them tires out. Yes, we are.
Tell us about your farm.
We have a wheat farm in north central Montana, and we grow mainly wheat, spring wheat, winter wheat, and a few pulse crops.
It's been a few years since you've had Big Bud in the field there, I understand.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, 11 years. Yeah.
You've enjoyed, no doubt, meeting the people along the way as you've shared the story of Big Bud and met so many folks from all over the country and around the world.
Yeah, absolutely, yep. Lots of fellow farmers and lots of people interested in agriculture of any type have really been interested in the Big Bud.
We need to talk with Robert Williams here a little bit about the size of this tractor, why it is so special. Talk about the size of it to begin with and the horsepower.
Well, the tractor itself was built in 77, and it was built for a couple gentlemen in California, Bakersfield. The tractor actually weighs close to 100,000 pounds, has 1,000 gallons of fuel, and now it's turned up to 1,100 horsepower. So that's size-wise, it's probably twice or the size of a normal 500 horse four-wheel drive tractor.
It has to have a somewhat extraordinary implement behind it too when you're working it in the field.
Yes, actually back when we bought it in 97, we refurbished it, went through it, and the cultivator was built in Canada, just north of us. They didn't build very many of them. They were going to try to use them on the, plains of Montana. It's an 80-foot cultivator. It actually weighs about 30,000 pounds. So it's, for a cultivator, and we can pull that like 8 mile an hour, sometimes a little less, but it'll work over an acre a minute, well over an acre a minute. So Gets a lot of work done.
Yeah, no kidding. You can cut a wide swath of that,
We
can't
can
you?
cut a wide swath, yes, sir.
It has been more than a decade since you've hauled at this distance, and we remember when you brought that from Montana to Illinois for the half century of progress. Our friend, the late Darius Harms, was along on that trip. Our cameraman, Angelo Lazara, captured the images from that trip. That was an adventure in its own right. When you're moving something this large, it requires quite an effort. Randy, I know you had to get quite a few permits for this load to move it from one place to another.
Yes, we did. We had to get permits, and that all went pretty well. On the way out here, of course, we were fortunate. I wasn't along, but they were fortunate to hit a few scales that weren't open, so that was always a good thing. But
Smoking like a trucker.
yeah, right.
True trucker.
And a farmer, by all
boy,
means.
yeah.
Hey, the two of you, we want to thank you for spending a couple of minutes with us and sharing with us some of the background, the story of Big Bud. It's a long history, actually, and folks might want to read more online. Do you guys have a website for Big Bud?
Well, yeah, we do have a website. It's
WilliamsBigBud.com.
WilliamsBigBud.com.
Yep.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Right?
And you guys have books and things like that.
Yeah, we have books, and we sell the small tractors. We have a new model out of this tractor with the new Titan tires on it.
I
and
think
yeah.
we'll have to add it to the collection.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Randy Williams, Robert Williams, thank you so much. We appreciate joining us here alongside Big Bud. You might see Big Bud along the road headed back to Montana. There's more coming up.